Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome here to the EVES auction room here in Victoria Street in the beautiful Waikato. So my name's Grant Child. My role is to simply facilitate seedings here for you this morning. We've just got two wonderful properties here for you, and I'll introduce the marketing consultants as we get to those two properties, but I'll just take the opportunity to recognise their outstanding work out there in the marketplace and marketing these two properties. A fantastic job indeed, as all of our team here at EVES do. We've got the girls looking after all the technology here today, so if anything goes amiss, it's up to them, because technology and we are not very good friends at all. But I am a good friend of Janine Misson, one of our managers. She's on hand here today to assist you as well. If you've got any questions throughout proceedings, then just pop your hand up. Janine will come over and she'll be able to answer any questions for you. So without further ado, we'll go straight through the documentation that you bid and buy under today. Here, of course, the property's sale and purchase agreements guide put out by the Real Estate Authority in 2008. Been around a long time. Copies available over there in the stand on the table there, but they've obviously been widely circulated throughout the marketing period at your open homes and your private viewings. So let's cut to the chase and go straight to the most important document, of course, and that is the contract of sale. Again, been circulated in draft form, as you see there on the screen. Finalised copies also available over there on the table, but if there's been any changes, amendments along the way, I'll alert you to that prior to your bidding here today. So by way of circulation of that draft document, folks, I'm going to assume that you read, understood, accept that contract that we worked to, a very clear, concise document approved by the Real Estate Institute of New Zealand and the Auckland District Law Society. So let's just go straight to the conduct of auction that's set out on the front page here. We've highlighted that in blue for you, and again, I'm not going to go through that in its entirety. Two important points that I do highlight to you. Firstly, your obligations when you purchase under the hammer here today at the auction is, of course, signing the contract and paying your deposit. We just ask for 10% of the purchase price. That's payable immediately on completion of the auction, unless, of course, you've made alternative arrangements with our sellers. The other important thing I just want to cover off for you folks is obviously vendors have set a reserve price. Subject to that being reached or exceeded, then the highest bidder, you will be declared the purchaser. And if I've only got one person that's participating in the auction, I will exercise my right under clause 2.5, and that is to utilise what we call vendor bids. Nothing to be afraid of as far as vendor bids are concerned. I will disclose the vendor bids to you. It is simply a technique to work with you and alongside you to get you to what I call the negotiating platform, which will be on the southern side of the vendor's reserve price, to give you that opportunity to keep negotiating with our sellers here today. Like I said, I will only use a vendor bid if I've only got one person that's participating in the auction. If there's multiple bidders, I'll leave it entirely up to you. So at this junction, folks, that's all I'm going to cover off. Everything's clear, concise, it's all spelled out in black and white throughout the marketing period, but I'll be happy to answer any questions. In case you're pondering a question, folks, I take the opportunity to welcome our viewers watching via the live stream. Welcome along. Of course, all our EVES auctions, they are out over the World Wide Web, giving total transparency and, of course, facilitating proceedings for people that are unable to be in attendance with us here today. No questions? Excellent. Right, without further ado, we'll go straight to the first property today, and that is the property at number 6 and 6A Frederick Drive. Now, Sam Singh from our Victoria Street office here, as I said earlier, doing an outstanding job in there and presenting this property. And something that I just need to make you absolutely 100% clear on, folks, before I go through the legal aspects and invite your bidding on this property, is if you don't buy the property here at the auction whilst it is live, you will be in a multiple offer afterwards, because Sam's already identified two buyers expressing interest to put an offer forward to our vendors on a conditional basis immediately after the auction. So you've got that opportunity here to purchase the property today. So obviously 6 and 6A Frederick Drive, they're using the old cliche as it is, you get two for the price of one. But that little cliche, folks, it's not a cliche today, it is absolutely 100% correct. You get two properties or two homes for the price of one here on the one site. So covering off the legal aspects of it, as you see there on the screen and in the draft contract that Sam has circulated, it is a freehold estate. You purchase 678 square metres of land, more or less, all comprised and described in Record of Title SA 7A, Folio 373, of course that Record of Title housed in the South Auckland Registry Office. Your settlement date, 97 days from today's date, or such other date as mutually agreed between both parties. and that is obviously the property is currently tenanted at the moment, so that covers that aspect of it as well. Now, there was some documentation circulated a little earlier, folks, that stipulated that clause 9.35 under the vendor warranties was deleted. That clause is no longer deleted, but I draw your attention to clause 23 in the contract, which did state that the entire property is on an as-is, whereas basis, but it is not. I remind you that the purchasers acknowledge you've been fully informed that the building consent and/or code compliance certificate has not been issued by the Hamilton City Council for additions, structures erected to both the front and rear of the front dwelling. So this applies to the front dwelling only, and it applies to those structures that have been erected on the front and the rear of that front dwelling. So the contract was amended to further state that the purchaser agrees to purchase the said works on an as-is, whereas basis. The clause 9.35 of the contract does not apply to those particular structures on the front and rear of the front dwelling. I can't emphasise that enough, but the vendor warranties do apply to the rest of the property. So chattels, any changes to the chattels list that you've had circulated there, Sam? Everything is circulated, so no changes there. So back to the particular aspects of the property. The front one is currently returning $550 a week, and the rear one $450 a week. So you do the maths, you do the calculations on that, folks. Circa those sorts of figures, and you'll find that you're getting a return of circa 5% on a residential property. That's based on, by my calculations, on 50 weeks of the year occupation. So circa that 5% return, certainly a lot better than you can get in the bank. So the homes themselves, both properties there, low maintenance construction. You've got tons of options in a property such as this. You can rent them both out as it's currently being done. You could live in one and rent the other. So you've got you're keeping a close eye on your investment. Or the other option, of course, live in one and help some family out. Because it's a lot harder for young people to get into homes now. Could be living in one and helping family out, and allowing them to reside in the other one. So, like I said, folks, current interest is swarming at the moment on a conditional basis on this property here. So, like I said, if you don't purchase here in the next few moments, then you will be in a multiple offer afterwards. We've got offers ready to go. So, in your hands, buyers, if you're in that position of cash, I'm going to leave it entirely up to you. You set the benchmark on where you would like to start the bidding away here this morning. Looking for an opening bid now, just in case you didn't understand all that gobbledygook. Time to set us alight now with a good bold opening figure, folks. If you're in the position of cash, now's the time to disclose it. Thinking about it? Entirely over to you here in the room today, folks. No registered telephone bidders for this one. First call for a cash start. Second, last chance, so I'm simply going to close the auction and we're going to proceed and work with those offers that we've got ready to go. Final opportunity. Obviously no cash here for this one, Sam. I'm going to close the auction formally now and hand the property back to you. So I'm sure your vendors are going to be delighted to talk to you, but so are those buyers when you call them and give them the result of those offers that you've got ready to go. So we'll move straight on, folks, to our second offering for the morning, and that's the ADEP property at 18A McCracken Avenue. Now, of course, needing no introduction to the Hamilton market is, of course, Tracey and Warren working out of our Victoria Street office here, and again done an outstanding job. You've got easy access to the new motorways, you've got the river walks, you've got the cycleways close by. Now, that has got to be a winner in anybody's book for this type of property. When we look at the legal aspects of it, the freehold property, the best class of ownership that you can buy in New Zealand, record of title 391477, describes the property as 725 square metres of land, more or less. Tracey, Warren, 5th of December 2022 is the settlement date. No changes, no amendments to that, but a flexibility. Yes. If you need an alternative date, then talk to Tracey or Warren. They'll certainly exercise that for you. Now, as far as the channels are concerned, the smart vent system is on an as-is, whereas basis. Any other amendments to the channels list?
Nothing.
No changes? No. All as circulated. So that really does dot the I's, cross the T's as far as the legal aspects of the property. So Have a look at this photo that's coming up here on the screen, folks. It really does depict your indoor-outdoor flow there. Absolutely brilliant. In fact, visualise yourselves out there on the deck, the sun streaming down, barbecue sizzling away, perhaps having a glass of orange juice in the morning or in the evening with some friends. But, you know, just an outstanding facility, and what a fantastic look forward that we go to now. Daylight saving finally arrived. Those summer barbecues are going to become more frequent. If you're marooned indoors, you've got the modern kitchen to cook up a storm, so you're not limited just to the outdoor facilities there. And of course, accommodation for all the family when this property provides you with 4 good-sized bedrooms. Now, you've got low maintenance materials here, folks. You've got proximity close to all the amenities, so that really does tick the final boxes to excellent buying here at number 18A McCracken Avenue. So I'll tell you what, I'd be quite happy to take a start at $900,000 for this one. Somebody start me away at 9. You can all put your hand up, folks, and go away and have a good conversation with your mates in the pub tonight, saying, yeah, I've had 900 grand at an EVES auction today. You won't buy it at that, but at least it'll start the bidding away. Only here to work with the cash interest, folks. First call, no registered phone bidders on this one either. It's entirely over to you here in the room. Second, last chance for cash interest. That's all the auction is for, is just to give you the cash buyers the first chance. Final opportunity. We obviously haven't found our cash buyer for this one, Tracey, so I'm going to close the auction and hand it back to you. So that concludes our offerings for today, folks. 2 absolutely outstanding properties, marketed by outstanding salespeople. So either talk to Sam, Tracey or Warren if you are interested in either of those 2 properties, because I can tell you now it is not going to take too long, and those sold stickers are going to be, those signboards are going to be decorated with the sold stickers very quickly. That concludes our offerings today, folks. So on behalf of the team at EVES, thanks for your attendance and enjoy the rest of your day.